Hello everybody! I know, I am late to the party, but I figured it's Trails, people won't mind. People are always willing to listen to others ramble about this series, so let's just dive right in. First, taking a look at some of these new screenshots posted by everybody's favorite Twitter user, Hansuke21. Okay, so first, they showed off this screenshot, which is two soldats in some kind of what looks to be a training yard or a training facility, or maybe some kind of testing grounds. But some people tried to do a rough translation of what was said, and it's a female talking to a male who addresses the male by the term Papa. And a lot of people are suggesting, oh, well, that's only one person. That Shirley is the only one who addresses Sigmund as Papa. And it's like, okay, yeah, Shirley coming back would make sense. Her piloting one of these newer soldats, I guess would make sense. But the way these soldats are designed doesn't scream 13 Factories. It doesn't scream Ouroboros. When I think of, look at the ions and look at the various archaisms that they've created. Some of those things are downright terrifying to look at. So I was thinking maybe these are either of Reinford or Vern make, or even possibly Marduk, which leads me to think this could also be Fairy and her father, but she doesn't, at least I don't remember her addressing her father as Papa. I know she addressed him as because in the Trails universe, they're from what is considered the Middle East. And I've seen people throw around the theory, oh, it could be Reen and Altina, which to me does, as far as headcanons go, yes, Reen and his daughter, Altina. But no, as far as the actual canon, no, Altina's not his daughter. She wouldn't call him, she would call him Instructor Reen, if anything, instead of Papa. That would be weird. Honestly. I was also thinking, is it possible that it could be Agnes and Gramhart? Because I know Agnes calls Gramhart Papa. I don't think it would be Ren and Harold. I'm just trying to brainstorm here and think of all the different father-daughter combos. I don't think it would be Tita and her father. If I was a betting man like Crow, had to wager 50 mira. I would either go with Shirley and Sigmund. That does seem to be the general consensus among the theory crafters in the fandom right now. I feel like, but I kind of want to lean more towards Agnes and Gramhart, because as I said earlier, these mechs don't scream Ouroboros. They feel like, I don't know, just especially the color pattern of this white one. It seems more Marduk in design, or possibly even Vern. It just has more of a Calvardian design to it. I can't explain it. I wonder if they're sort of testing the durability of the mechs to see like how much of a beating they can withstand before they send them into outer space, or if they're just testing various parameters on things. I can't really, that's as much as I can really get out of this one screenshot for right now. On to the next screenshot, we can see, hey look guys, it's the orange-haired man that looks like Walter. Yeah, so many people pointed that out. They were like, that's not Walter in my previous Kaido Kiseki news video. And, okay, you guys have to realize, when I was looking at the image, I was looking at this teeny tiny little image, and with the lighting and everything, the hair looked orange to me, and I just immediately defaulted to Walter, and my brain just wouldn't think of any other person. But man, I gotta say, Rufus looks nice in more of like a casual attire. And yeah, Swin is here. I know that Swin and Nadia are in Kuro 2. I don't know if Rufus and Lapis are in Kuro 2. I guess I will find out whenever I get there, but it looks like, what I'm guessing, this could be somewhere in the Principality of Elsheim, just based off of, well, the cactuses and the more rocky formations and the desert-looking areas. And this looks to be some kind of, it almost reminds me of the tetracyclic towers from the Liberl, just off of a first glance. It could also be a spirit shrine. But then it looks like there's orbital lights and stuff leading into it. It could be some kind of sacred area, like a holy place, somewhere in Elsheim. I wouldn't be surprised if they brought something like this up in Kuro 2, if Rufus is in Kuro 2. But yeah, that's really the only thing I can think of. It's either some kind of ruins, some kind of ancient Zemurian ruins, some kind of like the towers from the Sky games. It could be some kind of spirit shrine like in Cold Steel. Could it have any relation to the DG cult? Because I have to remember we are in Calvard, and that is where the cult originated from. They were pretty heavily involved in Kuro 1, so that's also another possibility. Maybe this could be a DG cult hideout, or a location that was used as a DG cult hideout at one point. Maybe? Why would Swin and Rufus be here, though? Without knowing their motives, can't really think of any good guesses. If I think of anything, I'll come back to it, but or the last thing on the menu, we had an interview with Kondo, Mr. President of Nihon Falcom, and he shared some interesting information about the East series, as well as Kai no Kiseki, which I will be focusing on today. Okay, so here, first Kondo says they're working on new titles that are not based on East or Kiseki. New IPs. I know a lot of people, hey, Exi did just announce they were bringing Tokyo Xanadu over to Switch, and they were bringing I guess the script is a bit rough in the original, which I'm really looking forward to playing that game. But they'll be making changes to the script, they'll be cleaning things up a bit. I heard it wasn't as bad as East 8 originally was, but I heard that some spots were a bit rough. So yeah, a Tokyo Xanadu 2, possibly. I know people have been clamoring for that recently. As far as another game, maybe they'll try and bring Zwei back as a series. Maybe, no, Nayuta 2 wouldn't work, because that's technically connected to Trails. Well, not yet, but it might as well be at this point. And then next, Kondo gets asked, with Kuro no Kiseki ending at 2 works, will Kai no Kiseki be positioned like Hajimari, where it'll be a summary of past and current events, which will set up the new arc? Where Kondo says, yes, Kai no Kiseki will essentially be the Hajimari of the Calvard arc, and that it will also serve as the climax of the entire series. Now, I skimmed through this before, and I couldn't find the exact percentage, but people were throwing around that Kondo said Kai no Kiseki will be the 90% mark for the Trails series, which, that seems kind of fast to me, because I know we hit the 50% mark around Cold Steel 4 and Reverie, and even if, let's just say, Kuro and Kuro 2 made up about 20%, so about 70%, Kai no Kiseki being one game, moving forward the overall story by 20% and setting up the actual end game? Unless this game's like 300 hours? I don't see, unless they're gonna work some crazy magic and it's just gonna be like non-stop plot revelations. I really hope everything flows well into each other and it doesn't feel rushed. Because honestly, I think that would be the worst way for this series to end, is if it gets rushed. And I know to take Kondo's words with a bit of a grain of salt, because I know he said some things in the past that weren't entirely true, but the work differs from Hajimari and returning characters will appear at important points in the story. Okay, here we go. Now he's going to talk about characters that are going to be coming back. First of all, many characters from previous Kiseki games will make their appearance. The game will start as the conclusion of the Republic of Calvard and it will revolve around Van. The flow of the game will be similar to Reverie, where one stage is at A and the next stage is at B. Class 7, familiar organization, and even the Gralsritter will appear in this game. All of them will play a rather important aspect for the story. That's exciting to me. I know some people are like, oh, Class 7, please no. I don't think, when he says Class 7, I don't think he means the entirety of old and new Class 7. I personally wouldn't mind it. It depends on how they work it into the game. If it's like Reverie, where Class 7 is just doing their own thing, while Van's group is in another area of the world doing his own thing, and then maybe the Liberal crew is doing something else with C's group, or Rufus. I still call him C. I'm still like self-censoring myself in terms of spoilers. I've just called him C for so long. As far as relevant Class 7 characters, we know that Kurt still has unfinished business with Cedric, but I don't know if that would be tied up in this game, so I don't know if Kurt would show up. Obviously Reen, he has unfinished business with Shizuna. They still need to duke it out. I hope that cutscene is like half their budget. Oh yeah, just make it the Kurt and Reen versus Mateus cutscene, but like a minute longer, and just 10 times flashier, and just crazier. That's the dream. Altina's a fan favorite, so she would come back. Fee is a given. She was in Kuro 1, and I know she's in Kuro 2. Gaius, obviously, has to come back. I mean, he's a member of Class 7 and a member of the Gralsritter. Eustace, possibly, because Rufus is here. I don't know if Eustace would be too busy managing Bereahard or not, but still I would like to see him show up, as well as Milliam, of course. Because if Altina's gonna be there, you gotta bring Milliam. Maybe Elisa, if Tita's gonna be in the game, depending on how involved Hamilton ends up being. I could see Elisa showing up and having some scenes with her. Because I know that Ren was sent as the representative in Kuro 1, for their little group that they wanted, their little collaboration group that they were forming. Machias wouldn't make sense. Elliot, not really. Laura, no. Crow, yes, because he's one of the fan favorite characters. Toa, maybe? Maybe Toa? Yuna, probably not. She's probably busy in Crossbell, unless the Crossbell gang decides to get involved somehow. Muse, no, she's probably too busy with Aurelia. Emma, probably not, unless some like spiritual gnosis stuff starts happening again, maybe. Unless McBurn shows up again, and she's needed to sort of quell his black flames. The members of Class 7 that I would want to see the most would be Eustace, Crow, Altina, Reen. Yuna would be a selfish pick along with Ash, because I would really love to see Ash and Aaron team up against Van. Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. Toa, possibly, and that's pretty much it. I gotta address the elephant in the room. Gralsritter. Who is on screen right now? Whose visage am I using as a mouthpiece for my words? Kevin. Mr. Kevin Graham. Which people did point out that there was a picture which is actually apparently that was the ruins of Creel from the aftermath of the first game. And in the very, very back,
enhance,
you could just barely make out somebody wearing a Gralsritter cape, which looks exactly like the one that Kevin wears. And honestly, at first I was looking at the picture, and to me it just looked like a like some kind of rubble, like just like a piece of cloth or something that was like stuck on like a pole or a fence or something. That's what it looked like to me, because it's so tiny and so blurry. I was so busy focusing on everything else around it that I didn't think it was Kevin. But one can hope. If it is Kevin, I'll be very happy. I hope he plays a very important role, even if it's just, for a couple scenes here and there. I just want to see my boy in 3D. That's all I want. I just want to see Kevin in 3D, doing cool stuff. Please make him playable, along with the rest of the Gralsritter. I want to make a team of Kevin, Gaius, Celis, and Rion. Please, bring Reese as well, and Rosine, and Thomas, and just everybody. Just bring everybody. And yeah, we've still never seen Ein, either. As far as we haven't seen her in 3D. We saw her back in Sky the Third. We still don't know much about Ein, and have a future idea for a video that I want to talk about discussing Ein. I don't know when that would even be, but yeah. I almost forgot to bring up this screenshot that we see in Sky SC of Kevin taking a look at the remains of the Reverie, where he says it's kind of similar to the Archaism excavated in Calvard. A very big I wonder if this was how the 13 factories were able to develop the Gordius class robots, or if or if this is the technology that was used as the baseline for the Panzer Soldats, and especially the ones that we see currently, that we've seen in all the screenshots so far. Well, I mean, a whopping 2 screenshots, but I wonder if this is one of those details that Falcom's kind of forgotten about.
Cut it out. Get out of here.
And if it'll come up again in the future, or if it's something that has come up and I've forgotten about it, because I only remembered this line of dialogue fairly recently. But, I mean, they've been really good at keeping everything knit together so far, so I wouldn't be surprised if they were just waiting for the right moment. And for all I know, this could be in Kuro 2. Who knows? But anyway, and moving right along, Kondo talks about adding a feature called Character Chronicles, which allows people to view a character's past, which is kind of neat. You know, if you're playing this game hoping to understand everything, you won't. Even with this feature is best for people like me, who played all the games and maybe have forgotten little key notes here and there. Give a quick little refresher, like, oh right, this character did this, and this character talked to that person, and they were responsible for this thing, you know, that kind of stuff. Almost all the mysteries of the first 2 works are going to be answered in Kai no Kiseki. Interesting. The story can also allow players to understand the continent of Zemuria. So yeah, they were not kidding. They are going to just go deep into the lore with this game, which I'm sure many fans, including myself, are excited, but also a bit hesitant, because it's like, I hope they do it well. I hope it's done well. I have faith, but from what I've seen of people talking about Kuro 2, a lot of people did not like that game. I'm very curious to see why, which should happen sometime this month, by the way. Fans will have a feeling that it's finally reaching its end. We do have plans to remake an old title, but we will let you know when it's appropriate to announce the title. Me hoping it's like a trilogy, it's a trilogy bundle of the Sky games, please. Just an HD trilogy, not even an HD trilogy, just take the trilogy, figure something out with Xseed, and bring it over to PS4, PS5, Switch, even Xbox. Why not? Why not Xbox? Everywhere, throw it everywhere. Throw it on smart TVs. Throw it in your Tesla. Just everywhere. More people need to play this series. It's imperative that you start from the beginning to understand everything. Unless they're just remaking the first Sky game by itself, or they could be considering doing something where they take FC and SC and they remake it into one game, one massive game. My other guess would be Ys 5, because I know that game has kind of been a hot mess, as the Ys fans have put it. Another one that popped up to me would be Ys vs. Sora no Kiseki. That'd be a really fun game to get remade. I imagine that game also wouldn't take that many resources to develop, since it's just a simple crossover fighting game, unless they go and they add more characters, which would be cool. Or if they do that style of game, but they make it an actual fighting game, like an Arc System Works kind of fighting game, I think that'd be pretty cool. Even though I'm not really a big fighting game person, I would absolutely play a game like that. Anyway, that's everything I wanted to discuss in today's video, which is kind of a lot, but I didn't want to turn these into like 5 separate videos. I kind of just wanted to bundle it all together, just have one long video just discussing everything, just giving my thoughts on stuff. If there was anything I missed, feel free to correct me down in the comments below. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you like my content and you want to see more from yours truly, and you want to support me going forward. And most importantly, take care of yourselves, everybody, and I'll see you in the next video, whatever that ends up being. Peace out.
All right, what's next?